So today we're talking about something related to financial crimes enforcement network, a so-called FinCEN reporting. And to be more specific, related to small businesses like you and myself, and that is called 8300 reporting. Okay, so it is related to money laundering, it is related to compliance, and the organization the government has is called Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. So that's what we're dealing with today. In 30 minutes, I hope that I'll give you that fundamental basic knowledge so you know how to handle your cash transactions at your business. Today, let's go for this, and which is the money laundering piece, Form 8300. So someone told me that Form 8300 worth about $1.3 million a year. That's not wrong. So if you are in violating of this form, you didn't file, oh, because I don't speak English, oh no, I don't know the rule at all, I'm just like really innocent, I just didn't do it, I just didn't know it, and that will give you $1.3 million penalty. And the penalty doesn't come just because you did that on purpose. If you did that on purpose, you go to jail, not just penalty. But if you are just negligent, you just don't know, you just don't speak English, you don't read the form, that is not a good excuse. It just, you still have that penalty to pay. So let's just talk about this, okay? Report of cash payment over 10,000. Quickly, and our firm, we are the Ethic Award recipients from Better Business Bureau. And this is me. My name is Ying. I am CEO of Community CPA. Very proud. I am very proud to be the CEO of Community CPA because we're doing just absolutely such a great job for the community. And you, every one of you, is a great support of our firm. And here I say thank you sincerely. And I serve on National Taxpayer Advocacy Panel, and then it's literally a volunteer panel that I am being selected to be on there, and I will work to provide good recommendations to IRS to make the IRS agency a taxpayer's agency, make them understand our issues, make them coming up with letters and notices that would work for you, that will make you understand. So those are the effort I have on my spare time. And if I have any, but I consider that's my responsibility. And I also have a book written in 2019, that is The Appointment with Ying at 8 a.m. And I have a second book on my hand, ready to publish, not really, but ready to go to the editor to get reviewed, so published. So that one is Appointment with Ying at 10 a.m. It is how to grow your business. I just want to finish the chapter of pandemic because, you know, if we don't have the pandemic, my book number 2 is done. But because of pandemic, I have seen great resignation movement. And then now you see the possibility of recession. So all of that is making me think that I need a new content for the growth of business, not just as what it was. It need to be projection to the future. So I need a little time for my last chapter. And of course, no responsibilities disclaimer. Please take our information with grain of salt and know that doesn't apply to you 100% and it's only applied to you under same circumstances, and make sure you consult professionals for your own situation. Don't just don't clip my talk and go to IRS, say this lady on internet said this. And, you know, I won't go into jail and because it is a quote, but you won't get a forgiveness from IRS just because Ying said that. So take that responsibility on your own. Okay, what is Form 8300? And listen to this. I know some of you listen to our webinars and just drive and listen, you don't watch us. That's good. I don't really want any one of you to watch me, but just, you don't need to watch. I'm actually citing out the slides. So if you happen to be in front of a computer, you can take a picture of those slides you want to keep, but otherwise you just listen. So each person engaged in trade or business in this course of doing business receive more than 10,000 in cash in one transaction or in two or more related transactions during a 12 months period, folks, that including installment payments from the same buyer, from the same person, must file this form. So you, as a business owner, if Ying comes to you, I buy a car from you, and I give you $10,000 cash, then you need to know that you need to fill up 8300 form and submit that to IRS, okay? And it is a report to IRS, and it is a report to FinCEN. They call that FinCEN is Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Okay, some organizations do not have to file this form. And what are they? So that including financial institutions, casino, who file FinCEN report 11. So they have a different report to file. And the definition of cash here is also very important. And folks, what are the definition of cash? So to be really brief, it is literally the cash. So the cash, the green money you got, that's cash, right? But it is also considered cash if we check, money order, cashier's check, if it is under 10,000. You got it? So if you have traveler's check you wrote $2,000 for, it is cash. So you will be reported by the person who sell you things because they consider that 2,000 plus your 8,000 cash, it is cash of 10,000. So you will be qualified to be submitted to meet with Mr. Uncle Sam. Why do I call Mr. Sam? Uncle Sam. Lucky uncle, and we all have this Uncle Sam, right? Why do I need to report these payments? And the reason is the drug dealers and the smugglers are using this way to wash their money to be clean. Okay, so this is if you go on internet, search for FinCEN crimes, and you will get a lot of stories coming out. There is a most recent stories is in Arizona. It's a cash dealer and a plus jeweler, and they got raided because the cash transaction. So for those compliance, and so you don't have to remember why you need to report. Why not? If the government requires us to report, just do it, right? Because we're not in that field to really know how the dirty money get laundered. And we just want to make sure that in the course of our business, and we get the cash reported properly, right? And who should file? And the common industries for Form 8300. So if you are a jeweler, furniture seller, boat dealer, aircraft, automobile, pawnbroker, an attorney, and a real estate broker, and insurance and travel agencies. Attorney is also listed. See, they didn't list accountant. I wonder why. And I guess there's no why, because accountants don't even know how to count money. They only know how to do general ledgers. So, I remember when I was in my early 20s, I was working at a bank, and I was doing bank recs, and the bank recs dollars was only 6 digits. So it is actually 1,000 is 1. So I never understood that because I have never seen cash that much. So one time, and I mistakenly and omitted 3 zeros, right? So I was like shrinking the dollar amount into really small. So my supervisor said that, Ying, do you know that you just discounted this whole bunch of transaction by 1,000? I said, oh, I didn't know. He goes, it's almost like if you have a room full of cash and you decided that the room full of cash is too much, let's just chop it in 1/3. So you are actually just getting rid of cash in 1/3 of that room full. So when he explained that, I know the zeros are really powerful, right? So it is the accountant are the one that don't see cash, they only see numbers. But the attorneys sometimes, when they have criminal cases on hand, so they got some dirty money coming in because these criminals are paying for cash. So, you know, you are not in the business of identifying where the money come from, but you just need to fill out 8,300, right? And of course, exempt organizations do not have to file Form 8,300 for a more than 10,000 charitable cash contribution. Did you hear that? So if, you know, I know a nonprofit called the Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit, and if you are so supporting of immigrant entrepreneurs, you will donate to Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit. And when you donate and you brought a bag of cash, that is 10,000. Nobody gonna fill up 8,300 form for you. So that is the exempted organization, and you do not have to file 8,300. And if that is a personal transaction, for example, and you know, mom took some cash out of her bank and give you 10,000. Are you going to fill up a form 8,300 for your mom? No, don't do that. That's a personal transaction. If a friend bought your car for 10,000, and are you going to report your friend because he paid you 10,000? No, that's a personal sales, like your, you know, it's personal. It's not in a trade or business, right? And so, of course, if it is the transaction happened in Japan, and even though two of you are both American, but transaction happened in Japan, that location is not in US, so that would not qualify to be filed. So just give you a couple scenarios that you actually are liberated from not filing 8,300. And one is considered cash. This is an important slide. So it says coins and the currency of United States, and also cashier's check that is under 10,000, okay? And then it says that cash may include cashier's check, even if it is called treasurer's check or a bank check, but they are all cash if they're under 10,000. Then of course, cash does not include a check drawn. You wrote a personal check for that money to pay something, that's not cash, okay? That's not cash. And of course, if cashier's check, bank draft, traveler's check, a money order, and those are face value is over 10,000, you also don't need to worry about reporting it. It is considered not cash. So if someone says to you that is a cashier check a cash or not cash, you will say it depends. If it is under 10,000, it is cash. It is over 10,000, it is not. All right. So example by IRS. IRS give us examples. I'll tell you, I trust IRS website a lot. I visited IRS website, and the CAD helped me and fish out 3 examples by IRS. You are a coin dealer, and Bob Green buys gold coins from you for 13,200, and he pays for them with 6,200 in US currency, green money, and a cashier check value of 7,000. The cashier check is treated as cash. You have received more than 10,000. Do you need to file 8,300? Yes. Example number 2. You are a retail jeweler. Mary North buys an item of jewelry from you for 12,000. She pays for it with a personal check payable to you in amount of 9,600, and the traveler's check totaling 2,400, because the personal treated as cash, and so you will not receive the 83. You would not be reported under 8,300. Am I right? Because your traveler's check is only 2,400. That is below the amount, right? So there you go. Your traveler's check is cash, but your personal check is not a cash. Example number 3, you are a boat dealer. Summer is coming, and I have clients, and I know they're busy with their boat business. Emily Jones buys a boat from you for 16,500. She pays for it with a cashier's check payable to you in amount of 16,500. Cashier's check. Cashier's check. Cashier's check is not treated as cash because the face value is more than 10,000. So is this an 8,300 qualified transaction? No, you should not file 8,300. Now, when is it appropriate time to file? So it says, okay, fine. Ying, I know. Okay, I know how to file 8,300. Tell me when. So you must file Form 8,300 within 15 days after receiving this payment. So that means it's not like income tax, you do it once a year. This 8,300 is like a trip to the bathroom pretty often, okay? Depends on whether you are in that kind of diarrhea business, right? So after you file Form 8,300, you must start a new count of cash payments received from that buyer. So if you receive more again, you file again. So what it says is, as soon as it's qualified to file, you file, and you don't wait. Within 12 months time, you may be filing that person for several times. If you are amending a report, you can amend. So if you filed it wrong and you can amend. So you check box A. So those are details. You will see the form, and you can give a written or electronic statement to each person named on the form. You must file and send that to them. So what that means is you can give a copy of what you filed to the people who actually paid you cash, and you let them know, this will be filed, right? So there's no secret. It's just part of the business transaction. Now, what are the penalties if I don't file? This is really cool because in my business, and we see our clients sometimes they're really innocent because they don't really read English, even if they speak some, and they don't read and they don't know what they're doing really. And this 8,300 is like so new to them, they never heard of it, so they didn't file, but they really need to. So look at this. Negligently failing means that you are not failing it because of you are a bad person. You're failing it with circumstances. For example, you don't speak English. For example, you don't know. For example, and you consulted with your accountant and your accountant goes, no, you don't need to file 8,300 ever. So you got some, wrong advice is possible. And in that case, if you are fined guilty, and that's $280 per 8,300 you didn't file. And if your annual income, if your annual sales is above 5 million, you are eligible to pay $1.1 million for fee maximum. That's quite a bit of money. I mean, very scary. But of course, if you demonstrated in cooperation and the IRS agent or investigators charge you civil penalty, and that would be on top of whatever you need to pay, and you will pay civil penalty. And 25,000 or 100,000, okay, depends. And then there's a criminal charges, jail sentence. So there is 5 years and 5 years. I don't know, 5 years is a long time. Yeah, and just don't go there, okay? And we need to file. So this is the Form 8,300. And it actually is a very simple form compared to many other forms our Uncle Sam produced. So this form, the part 1, is identify of the individual from whom the cash was received, right? So if Ying came over to you and give you a $9,000 cashier's check, and then give you, $1,000 personal check, and I mean $1,000 cash, then I qualify to be reported as a 8,300 reported on here, right? So you will put my name on the part 1. This is where the cash is coming from. Cash is coming from Ying. So you're gonna put my information there. Look at that. It has a lot of information we need to collect from the person who is going to give you cash. So you have their first name, last name, middle initial, and identification number. You need to know my social security number. If I am the person give you cash, I don't give you a social security number, and probably not a good idea to receive their cash, right? So the address, date of birth, even that. So you have to give everything and to the part 1. But what if, Ying is buying the jewelry from you with cash, but I send one of my accountant over to do it for me. And then that person would be filling up part 2, but I would still be on part 1, right? So that would be the first 2 part is identifying people. The part 3 is identifying that transaction, like what exactly you receive. See, US currency and the money orders, bank draft, traveler's check, and even foreign currency can qualify to this, right? And then type of transactions. So that's what you will choose. And the specific description of property and service shown in 33. So other than choose real estate property purchase, let's say you made $10,000 cash to buy your primary residence, and on the 34, you need to give the address, right? And then businesses that received cash, that is the person who filed 8300 form. So I would need my EIN number and all of that, then you sign. See? So that is really the core of the first page. The second pages are more for multiple parties, just in case you got $1 million cash, there is coming from different people, then you will need a part 1, you will need a part 2. But if it is one-on-one, you pretty much get that covered on the first page. All right, how to file. I know you're gonna ask me that because now you know about the significance, you're probably figuring out, maybe I should, but please, as soon as you hear this webinar, you start doing it right, okay? I know there are people are, just really don't know. And, if you get audited, it will prove that you have done things right if you start picking up what you don't know and learn it. And if you have questions, you can ask us. So you can file this form by mailing or by electronic format. So this is the link. You can kind of take it. I know it's a link for me. So you can just snap the picture. So you got the link. And then you also can mail it to this Detroit Federal Building address. So that way you will get that filed, okay? Remember, it is not like income tax and you just do it once a year. This is like whenever it happened within 15 days of business. Makes sense, right? So make sure that you do that. Then of course, if you have any, this actually concludes our talk about the 8300, and I hope it has really offered you some good insight. And I didn't really want you to not know about that. If you have a relatives and the friends who actually you knew that they receive a lot of cash income, and it is such a great idea to just forward this video to them so they can learn what they are and understand what definition of cash is and when to file, how to file, and take care of your business that way. All right, and I will talk to you again next Tuesday. Of course, I will talk to you on Saturday. I have a 3 o'clock on Saturday webinar, but next Tuesday, it is a webinar that we're going to talk about why my accountant said I underreported sales, because I want to give you that accounting piece, why that even happened. You think you're so honest, doing such a good job, but your accountant come back and rolling their eyes and thinking you're cheating, or IRS come around rolling their eyes thinking you are cheating. And so I want you to understand why. All right, I will talk to you again, and thank you for spending your time with me, and I really appreciate that. Okay, bye-bye.